to what will be a pretty odd CTP video exclusive. Now, why do I say it? If you are a even remotely semi-regular reader of my pieces of like before Red State or Grassfire or Freedom Works back when I used to write for them, I'm a former IT guy, so I've been writing online articles before there was such a thing called the internet. Today, I still write for beforeitsnews.com, and I've just recently joined Substack, and I'm give me a second. I also still write for, or was writing for, the Liberty Beacon. Roger had a stroke on him. Look back in my channel for Thoughts and Prayers video, exclusive video. It's about his stroke and all kinds of people out there and health problems. I'm on disability. I have health problems. Likely, I thought I was going to go in for heart surgery yesterday as I record this today, Wednesday, March the 5th. So I almost missed Trump's speech. I thought I was going to be in the hospital for heart surgery, heart valve replacement, but he wants to extort more money out of me for tests over the next 4 weeks. So that probably won't happen till April now. At any rate, way off the beaten path there. If you read any of my pieces, Before It's News, the Liberty Beacon, Substack that I'm on now, you've seen on occasion I might lead off saying, this is going to be an odd piece. Well, a couple of my video exclusives too, I've said, this is going to be a weird piece. Well, this is another one of those. If you don't know me yet, I don't mind doing things in an odd fashion. And this is why I say this is going to be an odd piece. I hope everybody can see this thoroughly. I'm going to try to scroll up. Why this is going to be an odd piece. I'm going to kind of present information about the joint address to Congress that I wrote in my Substack. There's also a similar Before It's News piece, nothing yet on the Liberty Beacon about that. On Substack, JLenardDetroit, no O in Leonard. It's not French, it's not Leonard, it's Leonard without an O. JLenardDetroit.substack.com, or remember the shortcut, HTTPS, tiny URL, I use them as a shortener, tinyurl.com/JLD on Substack, or tinyurl.com/JLD on TLB for the Liberty Beacon, /JLD articles, because I created that one long ago, that points to my articles on Before It's News. But at any rate, I'm burning up time. Let's get to the point, right? Get to the damn point. And I just recorded Savaged and Filtered earlier today. We were also discussing, as this is titled in Substack, Left's Anti-Americanism Shown Again During POTUS Congress JointSession Address. So yeah, I recorded with Michael Gardner, aka Savaged, for Savaged and Filtered. That show will drop tomorrow on Spotify and everywhere podcasts are heard. I'm looking at my calendar, lost my place. Tomorrow, Thursday, March the 6th, that will air. So check that out also, please. But at any rate, this piece, right? Start off, as you can follow along with me, quick to the points. The left refused to even applaud Trump with cooperation of Pakistan, arresting the evildoer on way to Gitmo to face justice of the mastermind that put together the attack that killed 13 Americans, injured 40 plus others on top of that, during Biden's botched withdrawal of Afghanistan, right? The Abbey Gate attack. And that was all Biden's fault. It could have been stopped. The sniper had the suicide a murder-suicide vest bomber in his sights, asked for permission to fire, was denied permission to fire because why? The left was too concerned about the terrorist feelings and taking out terrorists than protecting our people, even in the midst of a precipitous, quick, full-out withdrawal that Trump had said he was going to do troop reductions based on actions on the ground. Yes, he met with the Taliban, and sometimes you've got to meet with the enemies. He had them come to Camp David. I wasn't happy about it, but I understood it, and indeed, the obvious happened. We made a deal with the Taliban. We'll withdraw more troops if you do this, and then do that, and do another, right? Conditions-based withdrawal. And the Taliban, of course, immediately broke the agreement, just like Putin immediately broke the ceasefire agreement he had with Ukraine before, immediately broke the prisoner exchange agreement he had with Ukraine before. The Taliban, Putin, one and the same. Any agreement he broke the Budapest Accord, invading Crimea, and then further invaded Ukraine. That Russia was a part of the Budapest Accord, that they would never again invade Ukraine. They just break the agreements. And of course, the Taliban broke the agreements. Trump still drew down troops, but he was never, ever, ever, ever going to give up the Bagram air base there as a counter to the Taliban and China. But Xi's puppet, Biden, of course, just precipitously withdrew everybody and handed over our state-of-the-art air base to the Chinese, and all kinds of military equipment, state-of-the-art equipment, to the Taliban, who then gave some to North Korea, Iran, Russia, and the Chinese. For money, of course. They sold off some of it. They kept a lot of it. But anyway, none of that is in this piece. That's off the beaten path. From my social media, I go into in the piece, which again, JLenardDetroit.substack.com or tinyurl.com/JLD on Substack to find this and so many other pieces. We need Representative Jeff Van Drew, the former Democrat, now Republican from New Jersey, to start working his contacts. Are there is there even one Democrat left with functioning brain cells and cares at all about America and Americans to walk away from that shit show that they put on, the antics they pulled showing their anti-Americanism? They refused to stand to applaud the capture of the guy who caused the 13 deaths and the 40-plus injuries. They refused, I go later in here, to stand for a 13-year-old black boy with brain cancer lived longer than expected. No, they would have rather that black kid, Margaret Sanger style, as Hitlery says she admires Margaret Sanger, who, if you recall, my friend Bruce Fleury wrote the definitive book on the Margaret Sanger Planned Parenthood creation subject matter. She called them human weeds that needed to be slaughtered. And indeed, planned slaughterhood, of course, disproportionately murders more black children in the womb than an aggregate of the percentage of the population. Right? The left likes to talk about equity. Well, they've way blown over equity in the number of black children they make sure are slaughtered in the womb. And a little off again. So they refuse to stand and applaud a black child that survived cancer. They would have rather that black child been murdered in the womb. They refuse to stand for the young girl who has permanent brain damage now because they allowed a male to invade girls' sports, spiked the ball so hard, hit her in the head, gave her brain damage. They refuse. They stand with the male that gave brain damage to the young girl. It just... So a lot of this now that I'm talking about isn't necessarily even fully covered in here. But the point being, if there are no Democrats that after that shit show and what they pulled last night can't wake up and see, like Van Drew, I can no longer be part of the commie, fascist, sociocrats party and switch parties now, it's never ever going to happen. They remain anti-American. They side with the terrorists rather than our military. One of the signs I go into later in the article, right? Protect veterans. Trump's first term, he fired a lot of people in the VA who were falsifying records to claim they were taking care of vets when they were not giving service to the veterans. He fired them, hired new good people in, and veterans were getting better service. Soon as Biden came in, fired all the new good people, rehired all the frauds, the fakes, the phonies who did not give a damn about our veterans, but only their paycheck. That's why the VA went downhill again, and we gotta fix it yet again. So protect veterans, the sign? Oh, what a... Doge steals? You are the ones defending waste, fraud, and abuse. The money laundering that you're taking part of, giving millions and billions away to foreign lands that you're getting campaign kickbacks from to provide, like I said on Savaged and Filtered Show, condoms to the Congo. Whatever. That's not factually correct. It's not meant to be. It's a generic point. Condoms to anywhere. While in the United States, they are promoting promiscuous sex without condoms so that babies are created so that Planned Slaughterhood can murder them in the womb so they can get kickbacks from the babies being murdered from Planned Slaughterhood in their campaigns. So no, let's not create a charity, which I don't care what you want to do. You know, if you want, like I give the example, Ebola. That's a world health threat. If you want to raise funds to help prevent the spread of Ebola in the African continent so that it doesn't spread into Europe, Asia, the Americas, I would donate to that cause. It's a worthy cause. If any and all of the condoms to the Congo, if you think that's a worthy cause, create a non-profit charity, not a fake fraud NGO that just takes money from the taxpayers. If you want to send condoms to the Congo or help prevent the spread of Ebola, that part, I'll donate to that charity. I'm not donating money to the condoms for the Congo or whatever. But the point being, if you think it's a good cause, then you get off your ass, create a charity, ask people to give funds freely. Biblical community, charity of our own free will. I'll give to the Ebola cause, not all this other stuff, but they won't do that. They only want to do these things mainly not for good, but for money laundering, and only women where they can steal money from you and me and everybody else, because if it were a charity, no one would give to it. And then when they do create charities, look at the Clinton Foundation. This isn't anywhere in the article. I've not even gone past the first few paragraphs. I'm off on a tangent that I need to. The Clinton Foundation, still today, Haitians protest all these years after the Haitian earthquakes that they raised over $1 billion for Haitian earthquake relief. They're out there protesting because a few million went to Clinton donors to restart their business in Haiti, but didn't go to any of the Haitian people that needed the relief. They raised $1 billion. They spent maybe $100 million at tops, and the rest of it still sits in their money laundering, fake fraud charity foundation. And yet, those people out there that think they are independents, as I call them, are really useful idiots for the left and all their fraud and all their lies. When are you going to wake up? There is a pro-America party, a pro-let's spend the taxpayers' money wisely party. That's us, the GOP. And there is the waste, fraud, abuse, money laundering, anti-American, leftist, commie-fascist socialist party, the Democrat. They're not the Democratic Party. They are the Democrat Party. That's their legal name, not the Democratic Party, and there is nothing democratic about it. This I don't go into in the piece. I do have a piece, tinyurl.com/fascocrats. Look there. There are 28 planks of the National Socialist JointSession Party, the Nazi Socialist platform, in the DNC platform today. But the left, of course, engages in projection and calls Trump, me, you, fascist. These are facts. They're there. You can look them up. As Reagan said, trust but verify. I don't expect you to take my word for anything. Do real research. And by real research, I mean not going to CNN or hearing from the MSNBCs who give you fake propaganda information, try to rewrite history, don't give you facts and evidence like I do. Honor and integrity, respect must be earned. Research what I say. You will say, I give you the facts. They give you the lies. But as I go into saying the fascocrats thing, or as I call them, commie-fascist socialists today, because remember, this isn't the 1930s. The 1930s, the Nazi socialists, Goebbels called themselves that. They called themselves socialists long before they were given the moniker of fascists. So the socialists were fighting for control in Germany in the 30s against who? The Moscow-backed communists. But today, there is no difference other than the banner, the color flag they fly. They are all one and the same. They all want the same things. Their power, their control, no concern for you. Leftist government, more federal, tyrannical, top-down edicts, dictates, dictatorship, right? Dictatorial. That's leftist government. More and more government control. The right side of the political spectrum that they'll never tell you is complete anarchy, and no one I know on this planet wants complete anarchy. We are for small, limited, and more localized government, up from the people to the government, not top-down dictatorial fascistic edicts that the left want. And they are envious of Xi and Russia. They want one-party rule, just like they have in Russia, just like they have in China, just like they have in North Korea, just like they have it with the Ayatollahs in Iran since the Islamic Geishas revolution of the 70s that overthrew the Shah. The Iranian people had freedom. They called, a lot of the left called the Shah a dictator. Okay, all right. Yes, he was. But who did he clamp down on? The Geishas, the very people who have taken away the freedoms of the Iranian people today. He was protecting them against the Ayatollahs, who now have them all in regimented dress. You won't see Iranians on the beach like you did in the 70s under the Shah in bathing suits and bikinis. Women can't do that. They don't have freedom in Iran like they had under the Shah. But I've gone way off topic, but all of these relate to the left disdain for we the people, the real bosses. So let me scroll down here. Roar, right? This picture, roar, hashtag ROAR, restore our American Republic. We need to restore our American Republic. And yes, the fake moderate Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan. Oh, they're superstar. They're upcoming. They're upcomer over there. Fake moderate, just like fake mansion, fake cinema, fake Uncle Festerman, who rolled over, said, oh, the president should have the cabinet of his choice, and then promptly rolled over when his masters, Schumer and Soros, tugged on his leash, and he voted against RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. He's all hot air, just like Manchin, Cinema, Slotkin will be now, and Festerman, fake moderates. They vote. Watch. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Christian show shall be known by your fruits. Watch their votes, not the bullshit coming out of their mouths. 90+% of the time, all of them vote with Soros and Schumer. They may be allowed to have an occasional supposed maverick outside the box vote to continue that fake moderate stance on something that would never go through or they would never be able to block now that we control the Senate. So to give that fake fraud moderate appearance, because Uncle Festerman wants to keep his seat. He's up in the midterms of 2026. Schumer and Soros desperately need him to hold that Pennsylvania seat, even though Pennsylvania has moved way to the right and would toss Festerman if they bother to look at his voting record, not the bullshit coming out his mouth. All right. And Michigan, I go on to say, yeah, amazing. Trump took Michigan by a bigger margin in 2024 than he did in 2016. But lo and behold, a week plus after the election, the left found enough votes that, guess what? Oh my goodness, Slotkin won. Yeah, it took him a week and a half, 2 weeks of extending the election, but sure enough, they found enough votes. Somehow Slotkin won the state that Trump won. Yeah, state controlled by wretched Whitler, Democrat. I'm forgetting Nethel, AG, Democrat. Benson, Secretary of State, Democrat. They controlled the House and the Senate and the legislature until just this last election. Also, Democrat control. Liberal activists control Michigan's Supreme Court. It's not a constitutional court. It is a liberal activist court. So the left controls Michigan, and lo and behold, 2 weeks after the election, Flackin is announced by slimmest of margins the winner of that Senate seat. Need I say any more? Going down, scrolling down, leftist terrorist strikes insider update. I also, as author of Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, had to release a Terror Strikes Insiders update email, ending again about the 13 Americans dead, 40 plus injured, that the left refused to applaud the capture and will be coming to justice of the guy who arranged their murder. Rolling down, related, the Fetterman rollover. Please, Substack, the Fetterman rollover. Don't pay attention to these left-hard, pretend fake moderates. They're all trying to pretend to move to the center now to save their seats. It's all, the issue is never the issue. And you know what? While I'm thinking of that, let me scroll down a little further. I didn't put that in here. I'm going to add that, or no, I'm in display mode, not edit mode. I need to add the issue is never the issue image from the libertybeacon.com piece I wrote. It's not about any issue. It's only ever about their power, their control, their desire moving towards one-party rule, dictatorship over America, like Putin has over Russia, like Xi has over China, like Kim has over North Korea, like the Ayatollahs have over Iran. So I'll need to add that. I'm not in edit mode right now. So scrolling down, other related item, We the People demand list. Check that out. Like Contract with America. This time from We the People. No more contract stuff where you'll entertain holding these things for a vote. No, we demand you bring bills on all, now up to 53 items, to a vote. We need to see what rhinos are going to vote against them so we can vote them out. I'm making myself a note. Rhinos spring, because I need to add that image in there too. Spring is rhino season. Fall is jackass season. You vote out rhinos in the primaries, and that's part of the problem. Did you see that? Right, let me scroll back up. Right? No, you cannot rest. How many of you actually bothered to vote in the primaries? So don't let me hear you whine, moan, and complain in the fall about, oh, I gotta hold my nose and vote for that rhino, when you didn't get off your ass and do a damn thing to make us have a better candidate when you could have in the primaries. All right? Scrolling. Image of a couple other Substack items. Left still defending obvious fraud. Reality, the left lawless resistance. Kathy Jokel in New York at it again. Dojidends, as I coined them now, the Doge dividend checks. The good, the bad, and the ugly of all that. You can't be a real conservative and all of a sudden say, deficits and debt, who cares? Hey, if I can get a $5,000 check, you're no better than a leftist. If all of a sudden that wasn't a real value or principle of yours, but because the guy with the red hat on is in office now, you're happy to throw away all your values and principles. No, we need to pay down, cut our deficits, get to a balanced budget. And one of the We the People demand list items is starting a balanced budget amendment process, because that's going to take years. We got to balance the budget. Then we need to start paying down on the debt. Then maybe in Vance's first administration, we could get dividend checks. Or how about we just cut taxes? taxes more. So we stop sending money to DC to waste. You keep more of your money in your pocket in the first place. How about that? Rather than a gimmick check. Can we be real conservatives? Or are you a fraud? Are you a hypocrite? Are you just really just a partisan hat? If it's your guy wearing the hat, then you're willing to turn your back on all your principles. I joke, did Elon learn from Zelensky not wearing a tie the other day to the White House? Because Elon was actually in a suit, coat, and tie at the address the other day. And that's another thing. You can't be a hypocrite and whine and moan about Zelensky's attire at the White House if you weren't whining about Elon's attire at the White House over and over again, right? This image from the Western Journal here about Doge. Look, where's his tie? He's in the Oval Office. Where's his tie? Right? Now, I have complained about Uncle Festerman in the shorts. We have to have a degree of decorum. You see how I dress. I haven't worn a tie in 25 years. I'm not wearing a tie. I joke with my sister, when I die, if you bury me in a tie, I will come back to haunt you. A shirt like this, long sleeve, of course. You'll need a long sleeve to be in the casket, but don't you dare put me in a button-down shirt and a tie in my casket, right? So I'm all for casual dressing if it's appropriate. Festerman in the shorts and the hoodie is completely disrespectful, so there are lines. But yes, I'm for less formal dress, but there are lines. Zelensky didn't cross it the other day. Elon didn't cross it the other day. Festerman has crossed it. There are differences and distinctions. I am not a hypocrite on the issue. I remain consistent with the fact that there are lines, degrees, right? I embed a couple videos of the We the People Demand List, part 1 that I was on Ed Bondarenka's Your American Heritage show on Wham Radio. I include that. Derek Stone of Wham Radio came on for We the Demand List part 2. E Pluribus Unum, actual diversity and inclusion for centuries, not the leftard DIE, twisting, warping language. It's diversity, inclusion, equity. No, it's die. It's die. It's about killing America. It has nothing. The issue is not the issue with the left. It's about destruction of America. Thoughts and prayers, leftists in the 70s. I go into Constitutionalist Politics Music Weeks is coming, so I do a bit of a breakdown on that. RFK Jr. as health secretary, because the end of February, CTP, I did 5 different health-related shows the last 2 weeks of February, so I promote that. I list Trump's accomplishments from his last term, stand for the flag, kneel for the cross, blah, 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 blah. Tell massholes, so you voted, so what, right? I go into that. There's a whole article on that. Everyone needs to ask self, so you voted, so the bleep what? As the old SNL church lady would say, isn't that special? You're a special kind of stupid if you just vote and then go back to your couch, go back to sleep, don't pay any attention until the next election, and then wake up and wonder why nothing's changed. Because we, the people, are the bosses, and unfortunately, a lot of morons won't do anything but show up to vote and like to pretend they're informed and know what's going on, right? What was I going to say there? I mentioned the Saturday Night Live movie piece. That's why I mentioned the church lady. But again, no, you cannot rest. The left want you to take a long break while they do all they can to undermine any progress we make. And I've since wrote a piece on that. I shouldn't have used the word progress. We've had enough progress away from our republic. We've had enough change. We've had enough of the fake hope and change bullshit of Obama. We need restoration. Roar, restore our American republic. So all of the things we accomplish to accomplish that goal, I should not have used the word progress, because as you'll see, Norton v. Shelby about SCOTUS already ruled on government overreach, and that federal employees can be filed. Again, if you're not paying attention, except for election time, you're paying attention to the bread and circus. Devery Darkins, a true Black American patriot, had a great video on the event, so I included that in there and my responses to his video. Martin Luther King, I had a dream and y'all keep fucking it up, right? DEI is separation, segregation. It's not diversity and inclusion. Martin Luther King Jr., a hero. Kaepernick is just a whiny bitch. E pluribus unum again. But here's where I was getting to. Continue twisting and warping of language. They're not about progress. They are regressive on the left. They want to return us to leftist government like monarchy, communism, socialism, fascism. Those are all left-wing, top-down, few ruling elites lord over everyone, unlike our republic, which is on the right side of the political spectrum. Not anarchy, but limited government, and the people have individual freedoms, not collective rights. But the left keeps warping the language, and again, why I should not have used the word progress in there. Fight between the left and right states, protect the veterans, Doge steals, I already went into that, and that's it. Okay, so I've gone way long. Please check out the Substack piece. Again, https://tinyurl.com/JLD on Substack, as well as /JLD articles for Before It's News, /tinyurl.com/JLD on TLB for my thelibertybeacon.com pieces. Okay, let me stop the share, go back to the full screen video. I can see, wow, this is way longer than I expected. I hope you made it to the end. I hope you will like, share, subscribe. I hate saying that, right? Like, share, subscribe, like some damn parrot. But we need to spread this information. We need people to stay off their couch and be involved and support the We the People demand list, because it isn't just, hey, it's we the people, not he the Trump, not the they, those in D.C. It is we the people. We the people must keep the pressure on them to do the things they're supposed to be doing, not doing the things they want to do. And Trump can do things by EO, but guess what? A next Democrat president can immediately sign another EO and undo it all. We need the things on We the People demand list, 53 items now up to. You can go to change.org, also look up We the People demand list. There's a sample of 20 items there. Point you to the Before It's News piece that lay out all 53 items. We're not going to agree on every one of them. And if that's your mindset, if you've got to agree on everything in there to support it, you're not a real conservative, because real conservatives recognize there has to be some give and take, and we're not necessarily always going to agree on everything, but the majority of things in there you should agree with if you're actually a conservative, not a CINO or a rhino. So change.org, you can check that out there, or again, tinyurl.com, JLD articles. Do you remember the contract with America? Well, I created the We the People demand list there at Before It's News, because we need Congress to follow up all of Trump's executive orders with laws that passed the House, passed the Senate, that we have control of now in Trump's first 2 years while we have control, and send them on to Trump to sign into law. And I keep saying, let the left keep showing how anti-American they are. Because midterms, normally the party controls the White House, loses seats in the House and Senate in the midterms. Well, hopefully, if you don't go back to your couch, no, you cannot rest. So you voted. So what? What are you doing the next 2 hours, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, 2 decades to help restore our American Republic? Roar. We do the right things. The left keeps opposing, wanting to create a mobocracy, ineptocracy, or kleptocracy when we are a limited republic supposed to be to protect our rights. If we do our part and the left keeps being idiotic, hopefully the midterms will be a landslide for the GOP, and then Trump's last 2 years will be able to rule out all kinds of things. Because, yes, there are still some rhinos in there that we have to make deals with and work around. We're not going to get everything we want in these first 2 years. We need to replace some rhinos, replace as many commie fascist sociocrats as we can, so we get like at least a 20-seat majority in the House, so we can get through actual Republican platform conservative items, hopefully gain another couple seats in the Senate to get us through the Senate and on to Trump's desk in his second 2 remaining years, and then leading into hopefully J.D. Vance's 8 years of presidency. I gotta go. I'm sorry I went so long. Please, please, please share this with people don't get it. I voted for Trump, so now they're doing nothing. That's not gonna cut it, people. So you voted, so the bleep what? What are you doing now? What are you gonna do tomorrow? Can you at least pick up your damn phone and make a phone call to say to your reps? Or if you don't have good reps, other reps. I need you to represent me because I've got a fake, a fraud, a phony moron, either a Democrat or a rhino, who you have to work around to get things done that we, the people, demand. Thank you all. Take care. God bless. Thank you for having tuned in for Constitutionalist Politics Show. If you haven't already, please check out my primary internationally available book, Terror Strikes, coming soon to a city near you. Available anywhere books are sold. If you have locally run bookstores still near you, they can order it for you. And let me remind, over time, the fancy high production items will come. But for now, for starters, it's just you as a very appreciated listener by me. All substance, no fluff, just straight to key discussion points. A show that looks at a variety of topics, mostly politics, through a Christian U.S. constitutionalist lens. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Take care. God bless. Podcast fans, get more about your favorite podcasts via deepcast.fm. Transcripts, and all kinds of extra available information on your favorite podcast, including Constitutionalist Politics Podcast, is listed at deepcast.fm, as well as, are you a podcaster? Well, you can claim your free listing and more via Deepcast Pro. Check out tinyurl.com/DeepcastPro for podcasters for your free listing, and that's the number 4 in there. tinyurl.com/DeepcastPro Pro for podcasters, the number 4, Deepcast Pro, the number 4 podcasters, via tinyurl.com extension. Take care, all. You gotta check them out. Get more out of your podcast, whether you're the podcaster or the podcastee. Yeah, I think I just invented that word. Like and subscribe to Constitutionalist Politics Podcast and share episodes. We need your help.